Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're all doing well. We're back at it once again. It's hump day, it's Wednesday. It's 4:33. Got out a little bit early today, so that's pretty cool. It's mucho apreciado. Feels good. Yeah, so hopefully with that we can beat traffic. That would be even more mucho apreciado on top of all the good stuff going on. Yeah, good day at the office. I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna talk too much about work because starting to begin not to see the point as much, so long as nothing, too crazy or worth talking about happens. I might just leave it at a good day at the office. So that's exactly what today was. It's gonna be a little bit lighter out. I'm just now realizing, which is gonna be good. Maybe I won't have to turn a light on. I can see more of the sunset. You can see more of me, so that'll be good. Currently stuck behind a bus right now. But yeah, so with yesterday's video that I made, I got home late. I got home around like 9 o'clock-ish. So I got to bed later than I normally do and got a little less sleep and wasn't able to actually create and upload the video for yesterday until this morning before I left for work. So there's gonna be a double upload today with that. The video's already up. I posted it this morning around I think right at 8 o'clock, right before I left for work. And then so, watching this video, you'll see it around sometime tonight. But yeah, double upload today. Apologies if I wasn't perfect and I didn't get yesterday's video up yesterday. Forgive me, I'm human. But yeah, so yesterday's was posted this morning and then today's will be posted tonight. So all's good. All's good. So yeah, I'm running through any other updates for you guys. I think we're pretty much good. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, if you saw yesterday's video, or if you're just now going to look at it, it's a long one. It's like an hour and 5 minutes. That being said, I do think it's a good one. I do talk a lot about various different topics and things that I feel should be talked about more, and things that I think are important to hear and can benefit you greatly. So I encourage you to watch that video. And again, I know it's very long. Pause. I know it's like an hour plus long video. But if you have some time, just maybe have it on the background or just slowly chip away at it. Again, it was a video where I kind of just threw a lot of spaghetti on the wall. There wasn't really any major thought that I had that I was able to expand on for over an hour. So I covered a lot of different stuff that has just been flowing through my mind recently that hasn't been able to find a way in one of these videos yet. And yeah, I covered a good amount of topics, and of course looking back, I feel like there was stuff that I still missed out on that I could have mentioned, and stuff that's been flowing around in my head that would be good to share. So yeah, definitely check that video out if you can find the time somehow and somewhere. But yeah, hopefully this video won't be yeah, hopefully this video won't be an hour long. Hopefully it's much shorter than that. But anyways, moving on to today. Again, didn't really have too too many things flowing through my head today, and nothing too major that... Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm going to take that back. Had a few good thoughts today. Wrote a few things down. And so one of the things that I thought of today that I think would be good to share with you guys, kind of dedicate a video to, is this thing that I didn't like invent or create this concept or this topic or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to coin it as my own, but I'm titling it the 5% rule. And I'll give you a little bit of background as to what this rule is. So I was listening to a podcast on my way to work, and this was it was a podcast that is very long, and I had to slowly just chew my way through it throughout the past couple of weeks, because the only time I really listen to podcasts is on my way to work. That's just, I mean, maybe that'll change, but that's what works well for me right now, where I am right now, so that's why I do it. And so this podcast, it was like 3+ hours long, and my drive to work is like somewhere between like 20 and 30 minutes every day, so took some time to get through. And the person who was on the podcast was someone who has views that can be very powerful and be it controversial at times. And so I was listening to this podcast, and I was doing my best just to listen to it in the most, say, like non-biased, neutral, detached view that I could. And I was glad of the perspective I took towards it, because I listened to what this person had to say, and if they had something genuinely good to say, like a good idea, a good concept, a good way to think and look at things, then I took note of it. And if they had a way that if they said something that I'd say disagreed with in one way or another, I also kind of took note of it, and it helped me to kind of better form my opinions and my perspective, and really just kind of learn more about me and my own way of thinking, and what my beliefs, values, and opinions are towards, say, all this stuff that this person mentioned and talked about. And really what I'm trying to get at with this little story is that I had a very open mind concerning everything that this person said and everything that came out of this person's mouth. And it's something, I think, having an open mind, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I feel like we've talked about it in previous videos, but I think having an open mind it's very important, especially in times like today where it seems like everyone is very closed-minded and hard-minded about pretty much every little thing, whether it's an important topic or a completely like insignificant and unimportant topic. Feels like everyone just has a closed mind nowadays, and it just leads to anger, resentment, arguing, and unfortunately I think it can eventually scale up to, say, violence and hatred and really just bad and evil in this world. Again, I'm not going to go too deep, but I think that's not the way things should be, and I think things should change and change sooner rather than later concerning all that. But what I did with this podcast when I was listening to it, even if this person said a lot of things that I didn't necessarily agree with or see eye to eye on, I still looked at it with an open mind, and as open of a mind as I could possibly conjure up. And again, what it led to was I learned from this person, I learned about the topic of which they talked about, and I learned about myself. So really, it was a win. Even if we didn't agree and have the same beliefs and morals and opinions and thoughts on certain things, like, we also benefit at the end of the day, because we're all learning from each other, and we're all learning about the actual thing that is the topic of discussion, or at least that's the way that it should be. But I was listening to it, and the podcast finished up. So then, for like the last 10 minutes, I was kind of just driving to work in silence. But a thought crossed my mind of, again, what I'm kind of titling as the 95% rule, or the 5% rule. I think the 5% rule sounds better. But pretty much what this rule says, and again, this isn't my rule, I'm kind of just putting a soft title on it, if you will. But pretty much what this rule says is that you should have a soft, open mind with 95% of all things, and you should only have a hard and closed mind towards 5% of all things. I think 5% is a good number. I think you can range anywhere from 1 to 5, but I think max 5% is a good number, in my head at least. If you disagree with me, please keep an open mind and maybe we can learn from each other. Right? But I think that's a pretty good ratio in my head, at least initially. So I think that 95% of the time you should have a soft, open mind, and only 5% of the time you should have a hard, closed mind. And as to what that 5% is really up to you to decide and to choose and to, I don't know, you have to entitle, or I don't know, I'm not really too sure how to say it, but you have to decide what that 5% of all things that you have a hard, closed mind about are. Like, for example, I can be open-minded towards almost any and all things that, cross my path. But the 5% of the things that I will have a hard and closed mind about can be, say, people believing that they are the victim of their life and that they are not worthy of all good things and that they aren't responsible and they aren't the owner and the creator of their life and themselves and their reality. Like, that is something that I'm proud to say that I'm very close-minded about. And again, that is just part of the 5% of my, 5% rule. Again, everyone's is going to be different. But I do think that, of course, while it's very good to keep an open mind towards ideally all things, but really as many things as you possibly can. Again, for the reasons that I listed out earlier. I think it is also very good to have a short little list of things that you don't keep an open mind about. Things that are kind of set in stone for you and will never change. Unless maybe one day you do kind of modify or completely change your views on that thing. But there are things that you deeply hold true and believe yourself, and almost no matter what anyone says, it's not going to change the way you feel at the end of the day. And again, I think that's a good thing, within moderation, of course, and that's why I say within 5% of all things. So yeah, it kind of goes back to what I mentioned in yesterday's video with you have to decide and you have to identify what is versus what isn't important in your life, and live your life accordingly off of that. It kind of connects with that and saying that, you have to be open, or you have to identify and you have to choose what you're going to be open-minded about and what you're going to be closed-minded about. And the only caveat is that you can only be closed-minded about 5% of all things. Because really, there's so many more opportunities to learn and to grow and to have a positive effect on other people there's so many opportunities to do that each and every day. But because we're so close-minded so much of the time, those opportunities pass us by like each and every day, and really with every passing second. And again, not only it's because we're too close-minded too much of the time, but again, to kind of draw back on topics from previous videos, I do think it's because we act too much based off of our egos rather than our soul. Or, jeez, that person's in a rush. I hope everything's all right. But yeah, they act. Too many people nowadays act too much from what lies in their ego rather than what lies within their soul and their higher being. And I think you have to flip that. You have to flip the narrative a little bit, and I think if you find that once you do make that switch and you start practicing it and applying it more on a daily basis, things start to change, and you start to notice a lot of different things, and you really start to grow and really just expand your mind, and in a way expand your consciousness, and really just make your life all that much better, as well as, you know, the lives of those around you as well. So yeah, it all just starts with having an open mind, and really just always trying to find some way, shape, or form to learn from other people and other things. Not only when you agree with them, but especially, you know, when, say, you disagree with them. There's so much more to learn from everyday life and people and topics of discussion and all that kind of stuff. You just, again, have to open your mind and allow it to happen. So, 5% rule. So yeah, and again, just to hammer home the point one more time, my 5% can go along the lines of, I'm very close-minded when people tell me that, you know, only bad things happen in their lives, and they're the victim of their lives and their circumstances, and they have no control over their lives, and they're not responsible, and they don't take ownership and all that, and pretty much like all that negative stuff that really, if you take a step back to listen to it, you hear it all the time. That's kind of what my 5% is. And again, what everyone's 5% is going to be different, but it is up to you at the end of the day to decide what your 5% is. So I guess that's my challenge to you, to have a more difficult conversation with yourself, and really just really boil down to what that 5% is. And then again, live your life accordingly each and every day, and see what good happens because of it, because I can guarantee you that there is plenty of good that will happen once you reach a proper and a satisfying conclusion in your mind with all this stuff. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there. There was a topic that crossed my mind in the midst of talking that I'm trying to remember. So hopefully I do. It's always a bit of a toss-up whenever I say that, but yeah, also just a little bit of an update. There's like a lot of forest fires, unfortunately, where I am, and especially today, even though, say, like my town and my general little area hasn't had any forest fires, it's all very smoggy and smoky, and you can smell it in the air as soon as you walk outside, and even like just looking off in the distance, you can really just see it's just smoggy, or like you can really just see like the smoke and all that stuff that's in the air. So again, hopefully things get better soon. But yeah, so I was actually able to remember what I wanted to talk about earlier. And so back, if you rewind about like 3 or so minutes, that person that was in a bit of a rush, and to be honest, I thought came very close to rear-ending me, and then kind of sped past me on the highway. And, you know, I didn't understand, like, obviously, again, I hope that everything's okay with that person. It seems like they were in a rush, and maybe they just weren't in a good mood at the time. Hence, you know, they acted that way. But it kind of reminded me to, you know, not get mad at that person if I feel that they're acting unideally, per se. I know that's been something that has been a topic of discussion in one of the first videos I've ever made with this channel, and I've begun to think more about it recently, because to kind of, if you haven't seen the video that I'm talking about, it's very easy to, I should say that energy is very contagious, and it's very easy to let people's negative energy enter your kind of field, your energy field, and bring you down as a result, whether it be making you angry, sad, frustrated, annoyed, confused, really any kind of negative emotion, any negative energy or frequency. And what I think it's very important to begin to be more aware of, and again, to practice as much as you can, is to kind of create like a shell, like kind of like a force field in a way around yourself and your body and your little energy balloon, bubble, if you want to call it that. Kind of work on making it impenetrable, where, say, you can take in good energies just fine, you know, because energy is very contagious. You can take in good energies just fine. But whenever bad energy tries to enter your system and your field, it can't get through. That's something that I've been working on for, honestly, like quite a while now. And something that, you know, I was briefly reminded of when the stressed, angry lady sped past me on the highway. And again, it's always good not to let, say, those kind of energies, like, oh geez, what's going on? All right, we're gonna have to make a detour, but it's good not to let those energies kind of sap yours, but at the same time, while yes, trying to come to an understanding of why that person's acting the way that they do can certainly help you to feel better and allow you to, you know, have that impenetrable shell. Really, ultimately, it doesn't matter, like, why that person acted the way they do, or you understanding, you know, why they're acting and behaving and giving off that negative energy and frequency, like, as they are. All right, well, this person's a little lost in front of me, so I'm gonna give him some patience. But yeah, one thing that I saw in a book that I'm reading now, and it really did resonate with me, because it is something that I've noticed within myself recently, and really stuff that I notice every day, again, concerning not letting negative people and negative energies and emotions and frequencies, not letting that, say, penetrate my energy bubble. And what they said in the book was, you know, if you feel, say, if you're interacting with someone, or you have some sort of interaction with some person, and they give off some negative energy of some sort, if you're interacting with them face to face, and say they're complaining about something, or they're just speaking negatively towards you, or not towards you, but to you, they said to simply make an attempt to change the subject to a more positive and high frequency one. And they said if you can't do that, and if that doesn't work, simply, walk away. Like, detach and walk away. Let go of whatever negative energy is trying to, get within your system. And as you detach and you walk away from that person, that interaction, and that really negative thing that happened, use the power of your mind and the power of your thoughts and the power of your energy to put some positive out there, and specifically to that person, for things to get better. And yeah, just let it go. If something negative happens to you or around you, notice it, counter it with your own positive energy and vibration, and let it go and move on. Let it be. Continue to live your life. So I think that's something very good that, again, ties back to one of my previous videos. And I think, like, especially after reading that, it helps to morph. I don't know what's going on, but it helped to kind of morph and to shape my a lot of chaos going on around me, but yeah, it really helped to just, learn more about myself and to really shape my view and thoughts and perspective on exactly this kind of stuff we're talking about. So again, it all just starts with an open mind, kind of coming back to the very beginning of all of this. So yeah, that was, again, something that I wanted to talk about today. What else? Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, got out early and avoided majority of the traffic. But now it's kind of funny. There's like a detour, and now it's kind of tossing me back into new, different traffic, and here we are trying to navigate everything and, again, hold composure and keep away those negative vibes. And as we deflect all those negative vibes and we brush them all off, just kind of throwing out my own for whoever needs it and whoever can latch onto it and use it for the better. And then, yeah, just letting everything go. Just letting everything go after that and moving on, living life. So yeah, just another good thing to be aware of and practice on a daily basis. And again, who knows what good can and will. Okay. Who knows what can and will come out of it for the better. So yeah, what else? Took a quick second to poke my soul a little bit during my lunch break, and had my own thoughts and was trying to check off some stuff on my little to-do list that I keep on my phone during my lunch break. But found a few minutes towards the end of my break just to check up on myself really quick and ask my soul what it had to say to me right now. And message was sweet and simple today of what my soul had to tell me. And all it said to me was, give me 1 sec. All it said to me was, you're receiving what you've asked for. And that was it. And I couldn't help but agree with that. Especially today, like this week in general, and especially today, I've kind of noticed that things are very, what's a good word? Things are very subtly changing, and opportunities are very subtly presenting themselves to me. And it's good because I'm aware of it all. I see it all, and I'm acting based off everything that, you know, again, I'm seeing and I'm noticing. And I asked my soul, I poked, gave it a little tap on the shoulder, and I asked what it had for me today. And it said, "You are receiving everything you've asked for." I was like, yeah, agreed. So again, it's cool. You know, things are changing for the better each and every day, and I'm growing as a person more and more, and becoming a better person every day, and, you know, just taking one step after another every day of just getting exactly where, you know, I'm meant to be, and where I'm supposed to be, and who I'm supposed to be, and who I'm meant to be, and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. I couldn't help but notice it today, and, you know, couldn't agree more with what my soul told me. So again, and it's kind of cool because it's a good message to share with you guys too, that, you know, you are receiving everything you've asked for, because it goes both ways. You just have to always be aware of what exactly you're asking for, and really, with that, whether you realize it or not, whether you know it or not, whatever you're asking for is whatever is flowing through your mind. So if it's good things that are flowing through your mind, that's exactly what you're asking for, and that's exactly what you're receiving. If it's, say, not so good things flowing through your mind, that's exactly what you're asking for, and that's exactly what you're receiving. Again, the way it works is that you get out, or you get back whatever you give out, or yeah, you get whatever you give in the first place. So yeah, I think that's just a good message to share with you guys. So, you know, again, just watch your thoughts, and especially watch your words, not just to other people, but to yourself. And with that, also watch every one of your actions too, because it all just leads to, you know, what you end up receiving in your life. So yeah, just remember that you are receiving what you asked for, and that's going on at all times, 24/7. It's never off. It's never turned off. So with that, just remember that there's a lot more to it than you think. Yeah, remember to ask me questions, leave me comments, leave me suggestions. Anything you got from me, let me hear it. As always, I hope you guys are all doing well and will continue to do well. And yeah, we'll talk tomorrow.